This week we're going to be making a very interesting and unique bow that originated with native peoples of the Arctic, where good bow wood is just about impossible to find. We're going to be making this bow from a small plum branch. Now I'm going to use paracord for the cable backing and for the bowstring, but of course if you want to go more primitive you could substitute natural materials such as nettle string, rawhide, sinew, or anything like that. I'm also sticking to minimal tools in this build, so we're going to stay with our hatchet and my Leatherman P4. Now this cable backing technique would come in very handy where you need a quick bow but don't have the greatest bow woods to work with. It works kind of like a suspension bridge, where the cable takes on all of the tension stresses along the back of the bow, which is often the reason that these bows break. And so by transferring that tension stress to the cable instead of the bow itself, we can make a good hunting weight bow with less than perfect materials. So right now you might be a little bit confused as to how all of this works, but I think by the end of the video you'll see how this concept works and the value of this ancient design.
So before this gets too far into the drying process, I'm going to tie it really tightly to this log to try to keep it from warping as it dries. Sometimes these little saplings have a tendency to warp. So when I've done this in previous videos, I got a lot of questions about why I put the bow over the fire. And the only reason I'm doing this is because this is a green piece of wood. I just cut this. And so I have to drive the moisture out. You can make a bow with a green piece of wood. It's just gonna make a very poor bow because green wood, when you bend it, it tends to stay bent. It doesn't have that snap, that resiliency that dry wood does. And so we're gonna leave this bow suspended over this fire. We're gonna try to drive out as much of the moisture as we can get, getting the bow wood pretty light in hand, and that's gonna make for a much better bow. So it looks like everything worked out really well. Seam's dry. So you're gonna hear it when I bend it like this, you're gonna hear it cracking. That's the bark on the back, which should just pop right off now that it's dry. Like that right there. The purpose of this cable is to relieve the tension on the back of the bow. And so if you only have access to wood that's relatively weak in tension, this is a great way to get around that and still make a great bow. The tighter you wind this cable and the farther that you get the cable using these spacers from the back of the bow, the more tension you can take off of it. By winding this cable tightly, you can kind of preload the back with tension and make for a more powerful bow. And you can actually adjust the weights on these bows by how tightly you wind these cables. Well, the tiller is a little bit wonky. This limb here is a little bit bending too much, and this one's kind of stiff. And I could spend more time trying to fix that, but for what this bow is, just a real quick kind of a concept thing, I'm not too worried about it. I'm gonna go shoot it, see what happens. All right, so it's the first time I've ever built or shot a cable-backed bow, and I'm using paracord for the bowstring, which paracord is a poor choice for bowstrings because it has too much stretch, and too much stretch in your bowstring just robs power, it robs efficiency. But in a situation where you might only have paracord and you need something quick, it is serviceable. It's just not the best thing out there. Now, since the tiller on this thing is kind of wonky, I'm just going to move my hand down a little bit and shoot it almost more like a Japanese style Yumi bow. Cross my fingers, it doesn't blow up, smack me in the face. Well, it didn't stick because I have blunt tips, but that hit just exactly where I was intending to. That was left. And that was another kill shot. So 2 out of 3. First round, not too bad. So I don't know what the weight is on this. It's not heavy. It's probably 40 pounds at 28 inches. Plenty enough for small game and, you know, for smaller big game, whitetails, wild pigs. So this cable backing design, as far as I know, originated with the Inuit, where they would use what they had available, and being in the Arctic, there wasn't a lot of good bow wood around, but they did have driftwood and whale bones, and so they would make these composite bows. I haven't tried it yet, but I think this design would work great for a lot of the conifers that we have around here, spruce and fir, and that is next on the to-do list. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.